Not sure whether religions, organized religions and beliefs, whether they will not stimulate a peculiar appetite for rituals.
I have the notion they do. It seems to me that despite pious protestations that be made against that, but there is a theatrical display that occurs in the ritual.
Go to a Roman Catholic Mass and you see the beauty of it, the beauty of color, the beauty of the setting, the whole structure is marvelously theatrical and beautiful.
And for the moment, it appears that we have heaven on earth.
It's tremendously stimulating.
But then we have to go out again.
Of course. And it's all stimulated through tradition, through usage of words, chants, and a certain association of words, symbols, images, flowers, incense, all that is very, very stimulating.
Yes.
And if one is used to that, one misses it.
Oh, yes, yes. I was thinking as you were saying about, as at least to my ear, extraordinarily beautiful a language of Sanskrit, and the chanting of the Gita, and the swaying back and forth, and then one sits down to study what the words say, and one says to himself, now look, what on earth is going on when we're doing this as over against what the word itself could disclose. Right. But the seduction that is available, of course it's self-seduction, one can't blame the language for being beautiful. It's the yes. And all this is encouraged. And the notion, I take it, that you're suggesting that we look at here is that there's a tremendously invested interest in keeping this up.
Of course.
Yes.
Commercially it is.
Yes.
And if it is not sustained by the priests, the whole thing would collapse. So it is a battle to hold the human being in his appetites, which is really very frightening when you look at it. Frightening in the sense, rather disgusting in one way, exploiting people, and intrinsically destructive to the human mind.
Yes, yes. I've had this problem in teaching, in my classes, in terms of my own discussion in class. Sometimes it has seemed that maybe the first stanza of a poem that I will have known by heart would be appropriate. And so I'll begin to recite it. And when I get to the end of it, the expectation has arisen, the ears are there, the bodies are leaning forward, and I have to stop, you see, and I have to say, well now, you see, we can't go on, because you're not listening to what I'm saying, you're listening to how it's being said.
Yes.
And if I read it terribly, you would no more listen to what it is, your disgust would dominate, just as the pleasure is dominating now. And students have got after me for not reciting more poetry. And I tell them, you see, that you would be upset with that. Is a perfect sign that you haven't started to do your work in class yet. And then we're up against the problem that they think I'm being ascetical and denying the goodies.
Yes, good. Right.
That's part of what you...
Yes, of course.
Good, good. I'm glad you cleared that for me. Yes.
And there is this desire, appetite, we know more, we have a little bit gone into it. What is desire? Because I see something and immediately I must have it. A gown, a coat, a tie, the feeling of possession. The urge to acquire, the urge to experience, the urge to offer an act that will give me tremendous satisfaction. The satisfaction might be the acquiring a tie, or a coat, or sleeping with a woman, or acquiring. Now, behind that, isn't there, sir, this desire? I might desire a house, and another might desire a car, another might desire to have intellectual knowledge, another might desire a God, or enlightenment. They're all the same. The objects vary, but the desire is the same. One I call the noble, the other I call it ignoble, worldly, stupid. But the desire behind it. So what is desire? How does it come about that this very strong desire is born, is cultured? You follow? What is desire? How does it take place in each one of us?
If I've understood you, you've made a distinction between, on the one hand, appetite associated with natural hunger, that sort of desire, and now we're talking about desire, which sometimes gets the name artificial. I don't know whether you'd want to call it that, but sometimes...
Desire. I might desire, but I want... The objects vary, sir, don't they?
Yes, the objects vary.
Objects of desire vary according to each individual, each tendency and idiosyncrasy or conditioning and so on. Desire for that and that and that. But I want to find out what is desire. How does it come about? I think it's fairly clear that. You see, sir,
Do you mean a sense of absence?
No. I'm asking, what is desire? How does it come?
One would have to ask himself.
Yes, I'm asking you, how does it come about that there is this strong desire for or against desire itself? I think it's clear. Perception, visual perception, then there is sensation, then there is contact, and desire comes out of it. That's the process, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I'm quite clear now what you're saying. I've been listening very hard.
Perceptions,
yes.
Contact, sensation, desire.
And then if the desire is frustrated, anger.
All the rest of
the whole thing goes down the line.
Follows,
yes.
So, desire. So the religious people, monks, throughout the world said, be without desire. Control desire. Suppress desire. Or if you cannot, transfer it to something that's worthwhile. God, or enlightenment, or truth, or this or that.
But then that's just another form of desire, not to desire.
Not to desire, of course.
So we never get out of that.
Yeah. But you see, they say control.
Yes. Power is brought into play now.
Control desire. Because you need energy to serve God. And if you are caught in desire, you are caught in a tribulation, in trouble,
yes.
which will dissipate your energy.
Yes.
Therefore, hold it, control it, suppress it. You have seen this, sir. I've seen it so often in Rome. The priests are walking along with the Bible. And they don't look at anything else. They keep on reading it. Because they're attracted. It doesn't matter a woman or a nice house or a nice cloth.